Alright, finally, I'm back, guys. For everybody who watches, I've been still getting comments, so I appreciate that. I've been down for like almost 3 months. Just for the people that don't personally know me, or know me from work or whatever, people that I haven't been able to keep updated. My truck broke down, so I had to cut up some of my forge to make a specialized tool to fix it. So after I got the mic problem figured out, my forge went down immediately afterwards. So it's been a whole thing. But I decided to kind of like go back to the basics of starting out all over again. My forge that I built before, if you've seen my first video, was made out of an old air tank. It was a coal forge. I decided, since I already bought a bunch of coal, and that one's going to be a real pain to rebuild, and I'm not sure if I'll ever rebuild that one or just keep it around for, as a reminder of where I started type thing. But I have seen these things, they're brake drum forges, and they tend to be pretty cheap and easy to assemble. So I decided, as a back to the basics type thing, I would go ahead and build one of these and try it out. I mean, it's better than not having a forge. I can't afford the $900 one that I want. So I figure I'll get this one up and running, see how it works. Anybody who's interested in getting started, I'll go through everything that I bought and then the stuff I scavenged to make this forge, in case you want to build one at home. Total I got invested was about $100, and it could be cheaper if you skip some stuff. If you use you can use hair dryers instead of the blower I got, which the blower is a little bit more expensive. I'm just assuming that everybody might have a hair dryer of some sort. And then you can skip the coupler, but I'll go over that when I bring you in closer. That's what's in this bag right here. I just got done running to the parts store. So after I show you guys that, we'll go through assembling it on the bench and then hopefully fire it up in this video to see if it was really worth it. A lot of the ones I've seen work really well, and some people work out of them for years and years and years with no problems. But I'm always skeptical when I see something on YouTube. So, but all right. It's about time finally getting started again. So let's do it. Alright, so this is a forge blower I bought off Amazon to run my last forge. I had the pipe was way too small. It was like 1 3/4 inches. This is a 3-inch outlet. So this would blow air out the side, and it was a pain. Hopefully this will be a lot better. But instead of this, you can always run a hair dryer. Like, if you probably 15-20 bucks you can get, opposed to, I think this was a little over $100 when I bought it. I cannot remember. But you can do the same thing I'm going to do with, a cheap hair dryer. If you can get a high and a low, it'll probably actually work a little bit better than this with the size pipe that I bought. But it was the biggest pipe I could find at my local hardware store. But this always put out way too much air for my other forge, so it was always glowing when I got it running. So hopefully I can do that. I was going to put an adjuster for air, just non-off valve type thing, so I could regulate air, but that would have doubled the price that I had into this. They were like $75, which is ridiculous. So hopefully this will work out without that valve. So yeah, this is the one thing that's not 100% necessary. You don't need one of these big ones to run a forge like this, I assume. We'll find out at the end. If this is way too much, I'll let you know. But yeah, you don't need this. A hairdryer will do. So now that I got this part out of the way, since you don't need to have this expensive one, we'll go ahead and get to the stuff I scrounged and scavenged and found laying out in the dirt and the mud and stuff. So this is a brake drum, and it's off my roommate's Cobalt when they did the brakes, and it's just been sitting outside forever. So I went ahead and dug this out of the garbage bin, and I was thinking about buying a brand new one if I could find one for like 20-30 bucks, but decided that since I didn't know how well this was going to work, I might as well use junk first, and then I'll see how it works, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, scavenge part, cost absolutely nothing. You probably know at least one person maybe that works on cars that'll have one of these and use it up. You want to make sure if you can get one a little bit deeper but not as big. I don't know if they make any like that. That would be what I suggest, because I don't think this is going to be quite deep enough. But this is just going to be a proof of concept video to make sure that this will actually get hot and work, and I can do stuff with it. And then as I make modifications to this, I'll bring those in other videos. But yep, scavenge part. Let's throw this over here. Now I have an old junk grill, and the propane side I never used, so this grate is like brand new. What I'm going to do is take this and cut a chunk out of it to go over what's going to be the center of that brake drum, so all the cold and stuff doesn't fall at the bottom. It will help dissipate the air a little bit better. And depending on how well this works, I also have some metal mesh. I might cut the same shape. We'll see. I want to see if this is going to be enough. And it'll also be nice to clean it out, because then you can pull this grate out, scoop everything in the middle, and it'll drop down the chute. And I'll show you that right now. And we'll get this bench assembled. This is a coupler that's going to go. This is the part that you don't need if you get a hairdryer. This is a 3-inch, which is what the blower is, to the 2-inch, which is the pipe that I bought. Not necessary if you're going to go the cheapest way possible, which is using a hairdryer. 2-inch T. And we got like 4 flange for 2-inch pipe, and a couple assorted lengths of pipe. And then I left the cap in the house. But we'll do this part, and then I'll go get the cap later. So essentially how this is going to work is, I think I want the airflow as close to the, or not as close to, but where the pot's going to be. So you take one of these, there you go. Just do it hand tight, and this will be the part that hooks to the brake drum. You just drill these 4 holes into the brake drum, bolt it down. Whatever nuts and bolts you got, I'm going to scrounge some nuts and bolts around my garage. I work on enough stuff, I got plenty extra. This is going to be where the ash chute is. If I can get it on there. There we go. So that cap that I got to go get covers this, so the air that comes in through this pipe into the T won't escape through the bottom. So the air comes in, blows up, gets the coal hot, and then shut the blower off, take the grate out, clean the pot, take the cap off, drop it into a bucket, and it should be ready to go. So essentially, it's just drilling some holes, which I'll bring you in for that when I get that far, to assemble this. Maybe. I'm making it look difficult on purpose. At least that's my story this time. But yep, so that's pretty much it. There is air inlet, this is where the pot's going to sit. This is where the ash dump's going to be. This will go right here on this end. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to have to redo all this anyway, so. But yep, and that should be just about it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get some holes drilled. Alright, note to self. Save time and just buy bolts. Because when I was uptown, I literally had this. It would have cost me like $3 probably, not even, to get 4 bolts with nuts and whatever. Instead, I decided that, no, I'm just going to go ahead and scrounge. And then the only ones I could find that actually had washers and nuts for were some of my old, like my very first attempt at a forge build. And it's just threaded rod. So I'm going to have to cut the rod down. And the rod doesn't fit the hole. So, not so bad for the brake drum, because I'm going to have to drill that anyway. But now I got to drill this brand new piece. So, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of oil on there. And, dump it all over my bench, because that's how it works. And go ahead and see if I can... There. So, at least that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to jump everywhere. We'll see. There. That will be perfect. It's a little bit of play so I can adjust it a little bit, but I'm not going to have to fight with it. So, I'm going to go ahead and drill these 3, and then I'll show you how I'm going to mark it on the brake drum. Alright. Now we got that piece all drilled and fixed. I'm just going to set this on there. Just kind of use my finger as a guide. Since the hole in the drum is bigger, it's not going to matter too much, I don't think, if it's perfectly lined up anyhow. So I used one of the lug holes as a guide to hold it. And it's just ever so slightly off from center for this. So it's close enough for me. So now I'm just going to hold it in there. A couple of ways I've seen people do it is mark the hole, and then they pull it out and drill it, and then go about it that way. But I mean, that's probably a safe idea. I'm not a big fan of safe ideas. Like I try, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and hand drill this. That is a horrible idea. I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, so when I get ready to do this horrible idea, I'll bring you guys along. So give me just a minute. Alright, now I pulled that drill bit out of the drill press there. And I'm going to go ahead and dump some oil in this hole. And I'm going to see what the hell happens. See if I hurt myself or not. Well, apparently I didn't tighten it down enough. Oh, I'm not gonna bore you guys with doing all this other hole drilling, but I would not recommend doing it this way. There are safer ways to do this. I'm just very impatient after like 3 months. Alright, so I got them 4 bolts in. I brought it outside because I'm getting ready to fire it up. Before I fully put it together, I'd show how I did it. I got some cinder blocks here. This will hopefully never be a main thing. This is still just making sure that this is going to work good, work well. But yep, essentially I had to assemble the bottom half minus the air inlet tube. Made sure it was pointed that way. Make sure it sits in there decent. Then I'm going to go ahead and put this tube in there. Maybe. Alright. Alright. And then I did take that grate and cut it down a little. Just a little section. It almost sits right. Like if I took a file to the edge and maybe a little bit on the inside, it'd actually sit a little bit deeper down, but this should be good enough for now, just to give her a try. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the air hooked up, and then yeah, we'll be lighting it. Alright guys, here's my first attempt at lighting this thing. I'm gonna pack some paper right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple scoops of coal just around the edge here. I'm gonna leave a little pocket right here so I can get the flame from my torch underneath there. Yeah. Get one scoop ready. I'll go ahead and light the torch here and see what happens. Alright. I turn the blower on with the vent shut as far as I can get. I think I smothered it. Yep, too much coal, too fast. Alright, let's try this again. This time I put a little bit of wood on it. So, hopefully that'll help. And then I put a little bit of the lighter fluid, underneath. So, hopefully that'll help. Let's give her another try. I'll let it burn for just a second and then I'll worry about turning the blower on. Well, hopefully fire don't get too far this way. And put a little bit of coal on top. Turn her back on again. I would not recommend doing this. I think this entire video has been about how much patience would have helped out. Because if I'd have just took time and built this right the first time, I built the fire right the first time, I would not be having nearly as much trouble. But yeah, this time works out. I'll bring you guys back and show you what it looks like when it's going, but if not, I'll at least tell you what I did to get it going. Well guys, that forge, that drum, I think it's just the drum or the fact that I have way too much airflow. As soon as I turn the air on, it blows everything out of the pot, and then it doesn't want to stay lit. The stuff that does stay that was hot burns up so fast it doesn't actually catch anything else on fire. So I think I need a bigger pot, or I need to go get a hairdryer. I've seen so many videos, people making these things so easy, but I've never actually seen somebody buy an actual blower and use it on one. So I'm thinking I have way too much air, or I just need a bigger pot. That way when it starts to blow stuff around, it kind of swirls in the same area and settles, instead of just blowing it out of the edge of the pot. And I was worried a little bit about that one being too small, but I figured I wasn't going to spend money on a bigger one. I don't have a bigger one, so I don't think I'm going to have to dig through my scrap some more. But yeah, so an absolute fail. Except for the pot in the air. Like, the pipe all works out like it did. I did unscrew the cap, all the stuff drained right out. As soon as I grabbed that grate, everything siphoned right into the bottom. So, I mean, a lot of good. But today's not a complete fail, because I got my microphone and it works. And I did it on the first try. So, at least my microphone works. My forge don't work, but I can fix that. Next video I do, I guess, is going to be letting you guys know what I did to fix it, or, I mean, whatever I can do. So, till then, if you guys liked watching me suffer and fail, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe if you haven't. you like sharing fail videos with your friends, this is a pretty good one. I am fairly bummed out right now. So, I mean, I know it's something stupid, but I'll figure it out. And then I'll let you guys know. So, thanks for watching. Have a good day.